Hey there folks, how you doing today? I hope your Thanksgiving was good this year. I hope you got to spend it with whoever it is that you wanted to spend it with. We're shooting from an alternate location today because as some people's houses are, I know mine is, I imagine some of y'all's are, things are noisy right now. So please bear with the sounds of donkeys braying, roosters crowing, the neighbor's dog that comes over and barks at me when I come outside, the angry teenager that's stacking firewood for his mother. There's going to be some racket in the background. Don't worry about it too much. So as you may have been able to tell by this keen product placement, today's video is sponsored by Crimson Trace. So this scope, the Crimson Trace Brushline Pro, is part of a new series of scopes that they released here recently. They sent it to me and they asked me to review it for you. We've all seen scope reviews. I could just tell you how it performed and let you go with that. But I'm going to show you a little bit. We're going to delve into what I went out to do. So when I was hammering out the details for this review with the folks at Crimson Trace, I told them that I had a very large rifle that I would like to test it on. They assured me that it would be up to the task, and here we are. Now, what kind of rifle is it, you might ask? Well, let's get to that right now. Some of you may be able to tell just by looking at it from there what it is. This is, as always, a safe and empty weapon. This, for your viewing pleasure, is a Winchester Model 70 Safari Express, chambered in 375 Holland & Holland. So for those of you who are not familiar with what the 375 H&H is, it was introduced in about 1912 by Holland & Holland. It was designed to be a mid-bore caliber that was kind of middle of the road, large enough to take anything up to and including dangerous game. As a matter of fact, it is considered by many countries in Africa to be the minimum acceptable caliber for the Big Five, including elephants. While it wouldn't be my first choice for a rifle to take on an elephant hunt, I wouldn't feel undergunned shooting anything with it. This particular rifle I decided to set up as a American large game rifle. Figure I'll try to use it for elk, moose, squirrels, So enough about the rifle. Let's talk about the scope a little bit. This particular scope is a 3x12x42 with a 30mm tube. While I'm not a big fan of unboxing segments, I'm going to do one for you right here so you can see how the scope arrived when I received it. Okay, so I know some of you are familiar with unboxing videos. This is actually an uncrocking video because I've already opened the box and I'm holding it closed with a crock. So without further ado, we'll get rid of that. All right, so inside the box, there was some bubble wrap. The kids got a hold of that and played with it. Right in here, let's see if you can see that, is a Crimson Trace Brushline Pro scope box in a cellophane wrapper. Show you here, it says Trace Ballistic Calculator, www.crimsontrace.com, lifetime warranty. This is a Pro Edition, whatever that means. We'll go over that in a minute. All right, show you here on the end of the box. It shows you what their Crimson Trace Bullet Drop Compensating Pro Reticle looks like. This is a 3x12x42 with a 30mm tube. Again, a lifetime warranty. I would have to rate their packaging overall very nice. Maybe even too nice for my taste because I don't plan to ever put it back in the box. So what's in the box? Let's see here. Looks like we have some kind of scope rag for wiping the lens or whatever. That's a nice big microfiber cloth. Once you get all the packing material off of this thing, it's actually a very convenient size scope, not too large at all. It has a very standard looking bungee cord lens cap ensemble. Here we have a power adjustment. You have your parallax adjustment here on the side. The focus, and of course your windage and elevation turrets. Kind of a matte finish, very black. In here on the bottom, it's got a serial number. It lists the specs on the scope. It says Crimson Trace companypatents.com, and made in the Philippines. It is listed on the box as being recoil proof, waterproof, immersion proof. We're going to test all that stuff, starting with the immersion claims. All right. I am a little bit bothered by the fact that there are those among you that want to see this happen. You people are sick. So after the scope dried out, I made sure that it didn't have any water inside of it, and I couldn't find any indication of fogging or of water seepage into any of the seals on it, so we're going to say that it passed that test. So then I moved on and mounted it to the rifle, which, something that I find kind of comical. These are low rings, folks. This scope could not have been any bigger and fit on this rifle. And for those of you who may be wondering, these scope rings are in fact lapped. What about the recoil management? Well, I took it over to the range and I ran it through its paces. Let's see how it did. Same hole.
Let's go.
Yeah, mine, any time that
You hit it.
yeah, I saw it.
Yep.
Anytime that there's deer meat in the freezer at my house is the way the wife processes it. Everything that been cut up into steaks gets cut up into steaks. Everything else is ground up.
Hamburger, right?
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what I got now in my freezer.
But my wife's grandfather.
It's there.
You're doing good, man. Not like me, but you're doing good.
As the ammunition that we were sighting this rifle in is about $6 a round, I spent quite a bit of time with my bore sighter here at the place getting it tuned in before I went to the range. And that paid off. Once I got to the range, we were on paper, and it only took about 30 total clicks to get it dialed in. As you can see right here, once the scope was zeroed, I shot a 4-shot group with 3 rounds touching and a flyer that really aggravated me. That flyer was only about an inch away. So once I had the scope zeroed, we reached out to the 300-yard gong, and I employed the assistance of a friend of mine to help me with it, because the energy that the rifle transfers to you from a bench is substantial. You hear it?
I hit it.
You got it. You hold dead center, or where'd you hold?
About this much of a higher. Yep. Hit it all 3 of them.
Yeah, good. Considering the cost of the ammunition, we stopped about 4 boxes in. So for a nice middle-of-the-road scope, I don't think you could do much better than one of these. This is every bit as nice as any Vortex scope I've ever shot. You know, scopes like flashlights and cell phones and everything else have evolved quite a bit in the last couple of years, and I think for the most part you can get a really good scope for just a few $100s. The MSRP on this particular one was about $650, which, considering what you get, that's not bad. I didn't do any digging around online, but I would imagine you could probably do a little better than that given some of the holiday sales that are going on right now. But enough about what I think about it. I'd like to know if any of you all have experience with one. Why don't you let me know in the comments down below. While you're at it, hit that like or the subscribe and let me know how I did on this video. It really does help me produce better content for you. So until next time, thank you, take care, God bless. So, I know what you're thinking. What do I care about some scope review? I'm still eating leftovers here, guy.